for it. They don't seem to be coming out of that park fund, why not?
We drew some out of the park fund.
We still have 56,000 in there.
Yes.
Where was that money coming from?
We took that out of ARP.
I think going forward, we ought to make mention that that money's coming out of ARP, because we passed a motion and,
Well, that's why we moved ahead with it. ARP.
that money's coming out of that 56,000. That's all I've got, guys.
Park money.
5,700, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was for the wetlands delineation and,
Something in the beginning of that we took and then.
So we told them just go ahead and run with it. Told them just go ahead and run with it.
possibly the
So
survey.
we're going to, that's why we backed down the 350 to 250. So it was original appropriation for parks was originally 350,000. Backed that down to 250 and put the park money back into the equation.
Now, did we back down the amenities that we're getting for the 250,000?
I don't
That's
know.
just water, sewer, and, soccer fields,
Site
Parking lot,
Yeah,
parking lot, though,
it's sewer,
concessions.
parking lot, stormwater retention. And,
original drawings and all that.
and soccer fields.
Yeah. How did you forget that?
Excuse me. I mean, we can move on that, there's some money being exhausted right now.
Yeah, that was the difference. In the beginning, when Brian wanted to do that,
Did we let him go ahead?
he did 350 and kept the park fund money out.
No, we have to be accomplices in that.
Rex backed that down to 250 and put the park money back in.
Okay.
That would make sense.
Right, that is right, it's the correct thing, so. All right, brings us to the public comment. Anybody wishes to speak, identify yourself and your address before speaking. Keep comments directed to the board and speak only on one topic. You have anybody tonight? Yeah, it looks like everybody, huh? So, yeah, go ahead.
He didn't
Okay.
hang around for nothing.
You guys brought up the
Name?
61, Silas Dozier,
You're gonna get
61.
better at this, I promise.
I'm sorry, I forgot. Silas Dozier, 61, where is my address? 6158 Schaefer Road, Northwest. On the property of 6149 that we were talking about earlier, you guys were. I spoke with two different individuals not affiliated with that property. Both of them were contractors. One told me that the original person with the family members that was here last meeting said he bailed out because he wanted to make payments. So he bailed out on that. That's hearsay, I know, I didn't talk to the people that own it. The second person told me the same thing, along with my neighbor, he was with me. They both said that, the property owners that own it now, saying that this house can be renovated, make it better, and all that, and it can't be, we all know that. The people that owns this thing are sending out wrong information to all these people. I've seen at least two other contractors that's pulled in over there and left within minutes. One almost went through the front yard driving through it, just so they could drive, but then they backed out on the road. I don't know what the deal is, but last I heard from the last individual, I don't have his number with me, it's at my camper up in Hyman, but I got his phone number. He was gonna call either myself or Tim if they was to purchase it and was gonna let us know, and, you know, if we wanted to rebuy it for what they bought it for. I don't think they're buying it because it's not worth it. But the one that I just spoke with last week, he said that the current owners were on the hook until the 4th, which is tomorrow, and it was going to be taken away from them. Now, I don't know all about that. They may have got your letter and that you mailed out, Rhonda, and this is where we're at with it, but, I don't know what's going on. I mean.
Well, we're hoping that they'll reach out to us by, what was the 18th?
Yes.
If not, I would say at that point, we would start abatement, correct?
Now, the current guy, the one we spoke with, he, was offering to purchase it for $5,000. So, I don't know what Tim has talked to the people for or with or anything like that, so, that's none of my business, but, I just thought maybe I'd let you guys know what's going on, what's being said, that the house can be reconditioned, and it can't be. We actually took the rock through the window and dropped it. We told him the basement was full of water, and he said, that ain't what I was said. He dropped it and splashed within just a few seconds. He says, yeah, we got an indoor swimming pool. I said, yeah, along with everything else in there. So.
Okay, well, hopefully we can get some movement here.
Now, where's that meeting at on the 18th?
It'll be right here.
Right here? What time?
Same bat time.
Same time, okay.
Same bat channel.
All right. I'll try to be up here for that one too.
Okay. Anybody else want to speak tonight?
Tony Bailey, 7162 Mahoning Avenue.
7162?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question about where I can find the bylaws. And the last time they were updated.
Zoning
Were the zone-
bylaws?
Yes, the zoning.
They're
bylaws.
online? Should
So
we-
I have to go to the website. We have no paper copy of that for anybody.
Do we still have the actual paper books?
I certainly can print you one, there's
Okay.
90-some pages.
Mhm.
I think there would probably be a fee,
Okay,
for that, or I could email it to you.
okay, perfect. I'll give you my email.
Sure, absolutely.
And then the
Write
last
it
time
down
they were
for me, I
updated.
can do that. I believe it was last, John, when, was it last spring or fall?
What?
When we updated the zoning the last, was it in the November or March?
November, I think.
Might have been, yeah, they're current.
Okay.
I mean, they're updated on the website, but if you would write down your email, I'd be
Absolutely, I
more
will.
than happy, or I can give you my email and you can email me the request.
Okay.
Okay, I'll do that, I'll give you my
Perfect.
email, sure.
Anybody else?
Yeah, Steve Morrow, 7049 Mahoning, and also the business is at 7037 Mahoning. I moved a storage container in the fall of 21, not knowing that that there was a zoning law against it. So that's my mistake. Since then, I've received letters and they said I'm not allowed to have it. They're only allowed on industrial. I have a commercial property that I use for my business. The container, the storage container is for my business. I've got approval from all of my neighbors. They couldn't be here tonight, but they've all sent letters to the zoning appeal board stating that they're more than okay with it. I paid $600 to have a zoning appeal meeting. I've exhausted that. They just took my $600, understandably, which they told me before, but they just said no. So it has went to the appeals board. I painted it to match the garage, so aesthetically it would look better, and I'm also willing to go more if they wanted. If there's another way, maybe I could put shrubbery around it or put a roof on it. John, in the meeting earlier up front here, said that one of the reasons they didn't approve him was because of the chemical treatment, pesticides and phosphorus in the paint and things. That was one of the main reasons it sounded to me, like you said, which is just seems unreasonable. The containers we're talking about, everything you buy, all your kids' toys, everything from Walmart gets shipped across the ocean in these. So I think that's kind of a silly argument myself. I'm sorry if that's insulting. And I also think as a township, we should support small business, not, suppress it. And not just for me, I'm just a drop in the bucket, I'm not meaning to sound arrogant like my business is important, but our business, the car lot, some of the business, like we then support a ton of other local businesses, we get cars repaired at Brian's Automotive. When we need airlines for the garage, we go to Handyman and buy it. We buy tons of auto parts from Napa and O'Reilly's, tens of thousands of dollars. This very shipping container, when I got it, I called King Brothers, not local to Champion, but a local small business. They delivered gravel. I called Dave Varner's Excavating. He came out and moved a local business. I went to John's Paint, a local business, and bought paint to paint it. I bought when our trailers needs repaired, Lazy Bee trailers, we bought parts there. Warren Fire Equipment, we buy our fire extinguishers. The fire department, maybe they had a question about this container, I try and comply. We have like 20 cars in the lot, maybe. All of them need gas. The gas gets bought at BP. So what I'm saying is all these, it's accumulative, If you keep suppressing businesses, they said that JD's Post House was maybe removed. Maybe if he didn't, maybe he'd still be in business. I don't know. I'm not saying that, but Rite Aid was maybe a new one. Well, Rite Aid's a corporation. I don't know. Maybe their kids don't go to Champion. Maybe they do that own Rite Aid. But when the Champion High School yearbook needs an advertisement, I advertise. When the basketball program, So I'm just saying it's a community effort, and I'm willing to make it look better. And the zoning committee and appeal board, it's a red line. No, absolutely not, under no circumstance or condition. And their argument is, if they approve mine, if they do, that sets a precedent that they may have to approve someone else. And my argument is, if the said person in the future has a commercial property and uses it for their business and makes it look aesthetically good and pays the $600 and gets all their approval from all their neighbors, then maybe the person in the future should get a variance. I don't understand why this red line has to be drawn. I'm just trying to run a business, So I didn't know if the township could the trustees could make a little whatever in the zoning law that says, hey, commercial property, commercial use, neighbors approved, $600, painted, make it look different. Instead, there's a red line. No, absolutely not. Steve, you're shit out of luck. And I've spent, thousands of dollars on this, and it is my fault. I take responsibility. I should have looked into it beforehand. Took it for granted I could have a commercial property and use it accordingly. That's all.
Steve called me, I called him back, I think it was on Saturday, and we had a lengthy discussion regarding this, and, I understand the frustration, I really do. I think part of the problem is, and you stated it right there at the end, so many people, do something, and then they find out they can't. And, can you blame them? Yeah, to a certain extent, but after all, it is their property, and they think they can do, within reason, things for their property. I know you asked if you could retrofit the storage container by putting a pitch roof on it and, siding or whatever, a door.
Yeah.
And I asked if you had presented that to the zoning board in your meeting with them, and you said you hadn't.
Yeah, only to Rhonda afterwards. I wish I would have thought at the time, and I didn't.
And after my conversation with you, I called Michael Bloom and asked him what he thought of what you wanted to do, and he said, well, I just think that there would probably be some permitting issues in doing that also, in that you're, essentially enclosing an existing structure. There might be some fees with that. Isn't it great? There's fees everywhere. But, and correct me if I'm wrong, Rodney, Rhonda, there are avenues to get it looked at as you propose. You know, you're willing to sort of try to cosmetically change the appearance of it so that it essentially follows the footprint of one of these sheds that the Amish come in and build.
Yeah,
And, you know, so that's something, I don't know, a part where I might be talking out of line here. That might be something that could be reviewed and looked at by the board, but it would require action by you in wanting to change the text of the zoning resolution and exactly what you wanna do. That's an avenue you can take. In fact, I'll read it. Property owner can file a proposed text zoning change to the Township Zoning Commission for processing and ultimately the decision of the Board of Trustees accepting or rejecting the recommendation of the zoning commission to adopt or reject the proposed zoning amendment. That's one avenue you have. And the decision of the board is subject to referendum petition to place the proposed zoning amendment on the ballot for all the electors in the township to vote. So there's avenues, there is avenues. You know, I've said this before, with signage in this township, that's become an issue. I truly believe, signage changes with time, you know, a lot, the technology, you know, I can remember there was a big issue with digital signs in this township. Well, that's the norm now. I mean, and in order to attract business, they're gonna want, you know, up-to-date signage. We're gonna get a request from Mercy Hospital, not only digital, but instead of 100 square feet, 150 square feet. So, you know, we're at a point in this township where, and this is my opinion, and there's probably some articles in the zoning regulations that need revisited. You know, but as we stand today, here I go, on the other side of the fence, you know, we have zoning regulations that have been passed and approved by this township. And it's up to the zoning board to review any requests by yourself or anybody else and pass, you know, whether they want it to go or not. And, there was another, I mean, we did it tonight. You know, Rhonda, you can certainly chirp in here. I just feel that.
what, Max, I'm sorry if I'm interrupting.
Go ahead.
I think it is, a valid law in, you know, in a certain way, like in the champion allotments or whatever. You wouldn't want a storage container on every corner. I understand that, and it's a valid law. For that, I think there just needs to be some compromise on a commercial. And maybe someone, just cause I know there's my way north, there's a lot of commercial property that aren't used commercially. Maybe you can make that say, well, if it is a commercial property and you're using it
I'm
commercially.
gonna come right out and say, I know where there's one that is, it's not a shipping container, but it's a, wood inside structure that is made to look and mimic a shipping container. It has a garage type door in the front, and I believe that you put a pitched roof on top. But it's not a shipping container per se, but it is made to mimic the looks of a shipping container. And I think you know where I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like we could move I could move, like you said, one of those, maybe if I got a permit, bring a storage barn in like the Amish build, and it would essentially look the same, and it would just cost me more money for politics, in my opinion, for an antiquated law, so. But I'm wondering, so should I go to the committee and ask them, and they'll
John,
just.
what do you think? What do you think is, I mean, my opinion, he has he's dumped $5,600. I think I would have been a little irritated by it too, but understanding that he should have done the homework on what is allowable and what isn't. But it doesn't soften the burden of $5,600.
The meeting he was talking about was last Tuesday.
Okay?
It was the appeals board, and they met on it, and one of the major requirements to overturn a permit denial is there a hardship created? And in this case, yes, there was a hardship created, but it was due to the person getting that shipping container that created that hardship on himself because he didn't check the zoning regulations to begin with. Because there are three ways to change a zoning permit, and that is one through the trustees, one through the zoning commission, and one through the individual himself. So, all he has to do is go to Rhonda and say that he wants to make a zone change. I think that's what he's after.
I think that's what I related to.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure. And go through the proper paperwork with Rhonda, and yes, that's,
What is the difference between a storage container and a shipping container?
just in the way it's created. When we looked into it, we studied it and looked at shipping containers, and there's been studies made on shipping containers. I understand now the shipping containers now have metal floors. But the original shipping containers that the studies were all made from, and which we studied, and they fumigate them. And when they fumigate, because they're shipped all over the world, and there's all kinds of stuff shipped in those containers, they fumigate them. And when they fumigate them, they use all kind of chemicals, formaldehyde, I can't name them all because I don't have all my notes. But all those fumes get in the floor.
I think, not to interrupt, but I think we're talking old.
Absolutely.
We're in the 21st century. I don't think they fumigate with formaldehyde. And I don't think they have wooden bottoms in them either.
I understand that.
Or still blowing out.
I don't know, Doug.
I understand that, but when past that, those were in the work, so they were studied, and that's why.
That's my whole point, you know, I understand what you based your decision on and coming up with that requirement. I understand fully, but, you know, since you were last visited there, things have changed, just like with the lighting system.
I understand,
just like
right?
everything else.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it might be in that, we're on that verge here in this township regarding, new businesses coming in and whatnot. Maybe it's time to revisit and, take a look and, you know, and see if anything needs updated to present tense.
Well, I would suggest our next meeting is, Wednesday night, this coming Wednesday night.
Like 2 days, a couple days from now, or
Pardon?
like the 6th or 5th, this week.
Yeah, and it's a work session, and you're welcome to come to the meeting, and Silas was at our last meeting, and we get very small attendance at our meetings. The public very rarely attends commission, our meetings, so you're more than welcome to come and talk to the commission and present your, yeah. There's, the membership of the board is made up, there's 6 members on the board, there's 5 permanent and 1 alternate. One is we have an attorney on our board, we have, 2 contractors, we have 1 mechanical engineer, we have 1 school teacher, 1 attorney. And those 5, they're all from the area, and so, yeah.
Well, I
You're
just-
welcome to come to
I
meetings.
hope I don't come across as arrogant or thinking I'm better. I just think that it's something that we should update.
Well, that meeting will be in the administration building, so, and we do that because the zoning, the map of the township is on the wall in there, and it's,
Yeah.
yeah, but come, talk to us.
So when I talked to Rhonda, she said that I need to let them know within a week, I could start getting fines, and I needed to submit a letter. Am I okay to go to this, like, do I need to submit a letter, am I gonna start getting fined?
gives me a plan in writing of what he intends to do, whether it's to come and
Yeah,
try
that's what I'm
and do
here for.
something.
That's what you guys tell
No,
me
I
to
need
do.
I need something in
Yeah.
writing. I need whether you wanna wait and see what you
Yeah.
can do there, but I need something in writing to give me your intentions on what
When's
you're
the
going
next
to
meeting?
do. Wednesday.
Wednesday.
This comes.
The commission meeting, you mean? Yeah, I think Wednesday. You said, what time is that?
Wednesday, this Wednesday at 6:30, yeah.
6:30, okay.
Well, you could,
Hold off till after that, and let these guys have a conversation.
Sure.
And see what your plan of attack's gonna be, and then get back with Rhonda after
Yeah,
that.
maybe we can compromise.
There you go.
and you gotta
See
understand,
what
we
happens.
as board of commissioners, you know, we don't like to disagree with
Yeah.
the zoning board, I mean, that's what they do, and, when there's an issue, they do come
Yeah.
to us. But-
And I understand, I just thought that the reasoning, the whole reasoning to not approve something is because you never have, and you never will, basically. And that just seems obtuse, it seems arrogant and say, well, it'll never change and tough shit. That's their argument. And I don't think that's a good one.
I just will make a comment, we